Also import the switch map operator to use later with the route parameters observable. So we import up top. Now this is using a switch map function from RxJS, which we haven't been introduced to yet. And I assume RxJS is already downloaded in our node modules folder when we ran npm install at the very beginning of this whole project. So they did that step for us. I wonder if they're going to explain that, because if you've never done that before, how would you know how to do that? Okay, this is a different kind of an import. This is a JavaScript file. It's a different format. Instead of importing a exported object, you're just importing the whole file itself. We tell the class that we want to implement the onInit interface. So in the class, we do the implement onInit. And then we get this error because we didn't use it. So here we have to do a ng onInit function, which returns no output. So we put a void. And then what are they doing in here? We're setting this dot route dot params dot switch map params of type params. Okay, so we're doing a lot of stuff here. Instead of just copying and just, filling this out without puzzling through it and understanding it, maybe I should stop for a minute and see. Okay, so this route params, what is this route? There is no object called this route defined anywhere. So how would it know what to do with this? Maybe this is creating this route, and then it's running the switch map function, which is okay. So let's just fill this out here. Params, arrow function. This dot hero service dot get. So we're running this function get hero. Get heroes? No, it's singular. Oh, this must be a new thing we haven't written yet, so it's going to just complain until we get to that part. Because our functions before was just returning an array, but we only want one hero now, so we're going to get to creating that in a minute. Okay. And then we subscribe. So we subscribe because this is a observable. This is a new thing we haven't really learned yet. It's kind of like a promise, I understand, but it's more of a stream. But I'm sure they're going to introduce this concept in a minute. All right. I think we're going to keep getting this error until we go create this function in a second. But I might actually still have a typo. This is an extra little thing there. We don't need that. Okay. So I think we're on track. Let's see here. So we have to go create this now, I think. Note how the switch map operator maps the ID in the observable. Okay. This looks like a jumble of mess to me. Let's see what's happening here. So this function here So this is a block of code here. So maybe I'll indent this here so I can see this together. And then in here, okay, so that's one block here. So in the switch map, this is happening. And then after that, result is getting subscribed to it. And then we're running this arrow function to get a hero and assign it into this .hero. But in here, this service, this single hero function, we're passing in a parameter, isn't passing an ID, right? Cool. Yeah, it got easier for me to see once I indented it like this. When it's one big line like this, I have no idea what's going on when I see it like that. Okay. Note how the switch operator maps the ID in the observable route parameters to a new observable, the result of the hero service getHero method. If the user renavigates to this component while a getHero request is still in flight, switch map cancels the old request before calling hero service getHero again. The hero ID is a number. Route parameters are always strings, so we convert the route parameter value to a number with the JavaScript plus operator. So that's this guy here. I wonder, is this a JavaScript function or a TypeScript thing? It's changing a string to a number. So maybe I guess it's just a JavaScript thing. I thought you had to use something like parse int. Maybe this is like a short form version of parse int, maybe. Okay, do I need to unsubscribe? The router manages the observables it provides and localizes the subscriptions. The subscriptions are cleaned up when the component is destroyed, protecting against memory leaks, so we don't need to unsubscribe from the route params observable. Okay, let's add a hero service getHero. So let's create this function, this one here. The problem with this bit of code is that hero service doesn't have a getHero method. We better fix that quickly before someone notices that we broke the app. Open the hero service, and add a getHero method that filters the heroes list from the getHeroes by ID. So here's our list of heroes. We're going to create a new one called getHero. And this one is also a promise of type hero, singular, not array this time. And ID number. So we're passing in an ID. So when this function gets an ID, so we pass an ID, and we're going to return the hero, the individual hero. This dot get hero. So now we're going to call the array of heroes function. And because that's a promise, we use then heroes will be an arrow function, heroes dot find. Okay, so this is new. This dot find hero arrow function, hero dot ID triple equals ID, and then we semicolon. So what we're doing here is when we want to get the one hero and we pass in the number, let's say 3, this will spit out that third hero, and it gets that by getting the array of heroes, which is a promise. So basically everything's coming back here, and when it gets back the array, it feeds in the array to the arrow function, and it finds the hero where the hero equals, so where it iterates through the array, and when the ID matches, it returns that. So find must be also some sort of a helper function to iterate through an array until one matches, until a property matches. So this is probably something I should read up on later, a helper function, because previously in the past I would have manually iterated through an array. So this seems really useful. Let's return to the hero detail component to clean up loose ends. All right, so let's save here. Find our way back. We can navigate to the hero detail component in several ways. How do we navigate somewhere else when we're done? The user could click one of the two links in the app component, or click the browser's back button. We'll add a third button, a go back method that navigates backward one step in the browser's history stack using the location service. Ah, okay, that's why we added that. So in the hero detail component, where we are now, okay, we're going to add a function called go back. Okay, go back. And it's going to call this the location.back. So it just goes back one step in the history of where we've been. And this already knows what location is because we imported it up top here. Cool. Going back too far could take us out of the application. That's acceptable in a demo. We'd guard against it in a real application, perhaps with a can deactivate guard. And this looks like an Angular specific function, which if I were to do this, I would have to read up on it. Then we wire this method with an event binding to a back button that we add to the bottom of the component template. So we're going to add a button which has a click event that runs this function when you click on this back button. So let's add this into the component template here. So we create a button and close the button. And in that button, we're going to create a click event that calls the go back function. Done. Modifying the template to add this button spurs us to take one more incremental improvement and migrate the template to its own file called, okay, so we're gonna cut out all this template and put it into its own file. Why not? So we create a new HTML file called hero detail component.html. So new file, hero-detail.component.html, and then we cut out, where's that TS file? Okay, we're going to cut this out and put it into the new HTML file here. Save it. There's probably more to it here. I probably have to, actually, let's look over here. That's all there is to it. Okay. And then back here, this has to probably be a template URL and point to that file. hero-detail.component.html. Yeah, there it is. So this template is feeding it from here. Better. Okay. Let's refresh. I'm going to save all. I might have missed something here. Okay. Reload. Something is broken. unhandled promise rejection. So maybe I mistyped something. This template looks okay. hero-detail.component.html. That looks okay. I'm not getting any errors. Maybe this is one of those times in the tutorial. No, it's expecting it to work. So something is not right. And this hint here is, oh, I can't find it. We got a 404. So hero-detail.component.html is not being found. Oh, because I might, maybe I don't need this / If we go back to the tutorial, no, I need that there. Hero-detail. Did I mistype it? No. .component. Why is it a 404? Let's go back to the home page. No. Hero-detail component. Does this file not exist? Well, what if I put an app there? That file exists. So why do I need... So I'm pretty sure if I put app here it will work, but the tutorial doesn't want me to do that. So why... What is the missing piece? Yeah, see, now it works. I think. Module ID. You're right. It's right there in front of me and I missed it. So I don't really understand what that does. Module ID. But I'm sure this is an important lesson now. So I need to look into this. Why does this matter? This module ID. So just to confirm that this fixes everything, which it does. So by the way, thank you very much, Groon's Shaft. That wasn't there something about modules in Angular that influenced the loading of stuff? Yeah, there is something about this. This module ID, I don't know. They didn't really explain it, but this seems to do the trick. And if I look at my other component, we also use that. So this is key. And you know what? I was just listening to JavaScript Jabber podcast. Specifically, I think it was the Angular Adventures in Angular podcast. And this missing the module ID was in their top 10 easy mistakes to make in Angular. So now I understand why. So that's really interesting. I'm gonna have to read up on this because I don't know what it's doing. It's basically telling the component this module ID, but where is this property, this value coming from? I don't know. Maybe the module. Let's check the module. Maybe in here something is passing an ID. I don't know. All right. So we are back on track. That was a bit of a divergence, but at least I learned something there. That was really important. Select a dashboard hero. When a user selects a hero in the dashboard, the app should navigate to the hero detail component to view and edit the selected hero. Although the dashboard heroes are presented as button-like blocks, they should behave like anchor tags. When hovering over a hero block, the target URL should display in the browser status bar, and the user should be able to copy the link or open the hero detail view in a new tab. To achieve this effect, reopen the dashboard component HTML and replace the repeated ng4 tags with an anchor tag. The opening anchor tag looks like this. Okay, so let's open dashboard component. We're going to replace the ng4 in this, in the HTML, okay. This ng4, we are replacing with anchor tags. So this, let me reread this block because I don't understand what's going on. When the user selects a hero on the dashboard, the app should navigate to the hero detail component to view and edit the selected hero. Although the dashboard heroes are presented as button-like blocks, they should behave like anchor tags. When hovering over a hero block, the target URL should display in the browser status bar, and the user should be able to copy the link. Okay, that's standard link, no big deal. Oh, I see. So we're basically changing this div into an anchor. That's all it's trying to say. Oh, yeah, it says right here. We're replacing this div with an anchor. No big deal. Okay. Done. Okay, but now there's more to it. We got to put a router link. Okay. Router. Oh, this is in a, so it's in a square bracket, which I think is, it's like you're changing an attribute or something, but I don't know. Let's see. Quote. What is this? Okay. Detail. Hero.id. So what's going on here? We pass in a router link. Oh, we're telling the router link that we have two parameters, detail and the ID. Notice the router link binding. Top level navigation in the app component template has router links set to fixed paths of the destination routes, dashboard and heroes. This time we're binding to an expression containing a link parameters array. Okay, so we have a link parameters array. The array has two elements, the path of the destination route and the route parameter set to the value of the current hero's ID. Okay. The two array items align with path and ID token in the parameterized hero detail route definition we added to the app module TS earlier in this chapter. Refresh the browser. Okay. Did I save? I didn't save yet. Do you know if there's a hotkey for save all? Because this is a little annoying. So what did we do? We added this. Is this what we modified? This top heroes, these are links here. So we now, I see we have, if I hover over this, you can see down here, it's got, well, it doesn't show up too well. Yeah, it's changing the URL path, detail 13, detail 15. Refresh the browser, select a hero from the dashboard, and the app should navigate to that hero's details. Okay, we're going to refactor routes to a routing module. This routing, this is a lot of work. This is a long section. Almost 20 lines of app module are devoted to configuring 4 routes. Most applications have many more routes, and they add guard services to protect against unwanted or unauthorized navigations. Routing considerations could quickly dominate this module and obscure its primary purpose, which is to establish key facts about the entire app from the Angular compiler. So we should refactor the routing configuration into its own class. What kind of class? The current router module for route produces an Angular module with the current router module for route produces an Angular module with providers which suggests that a class dedicated to routing should be some kind of module, should be a routing module. It should be a routing module. So it's saying is it saying these routes should be in its own routing class. So we're going to create a new module called app routing module. Okay. New file. App routing module.ts. Give it the following contents extracted from the app module class. So we have to take it out of here and pull it into here. Okay. So we're taking ng module. Well, I guess I'm just going to copy it. Okay, let's just start with the services first and the components. So we need the heroes component. See, this is where I need two split view kind of a situation. Okay, this will work. So we need this guy. Now, does it want me to erase it from the other component or just copy it? I don't know. We need the module, router module. And it seems like, it's adding a routes into it too. So that's a new thing we're importing. Okay, let me see if I can hide this. I think it's Control B. Yeah. Just copy. Yeah, okay. Okay. Or are you meaning copy this, all this junk here and just get it done in one thing? Or do you mean copy it out of here and leave it in place? Like we might still need this? I don't know. Import dashboard component. We need that. Hero detail. So we got dashboard, hero detail, heroes component. So this is a little different, these routes. Let's type it out because this is different. Constant routes. We're defining a routes of type routes, and this is an array. And that is basically this, which used to be for root. It's going in here. Now we need the ng module. And we need imports, this is different. Okay, so imports. Router module dot for root routes exports router module. And we close that up and we export class app routing module. Okay, something, oh, I have an extra E there. Okay. So this probably has to be removed, but I think it's going to mention it here, right? Yeah, they did take it out. All right, so they left. Let's move this over. So we left all these things still in here, all the components and services, but this router module we don't need anymore because we took that out, right? Yeah. And instead, we're replacing it with the separate routing module we just created. So that's called app routing module. All right, thank you, W. Martini. Import the app routing module in module TS. So yeah, in here, we do that. And it's from our own file, app routing.module. Okay, typo again. Okay. And then here, app routing module. So we've refactored. So instead of using, yeah, okay, so this is our own, and this is, we don't need all this stuff. Take that out. Okay. And do we need to declare anything? App component, hero detail component, dashboard component, heroes component, hero service, app component. I think we're okay. Cool. So we refactored this into its own place. Here it is. And we export it as a router module. Okay. Okay, let's continue. All right, select a hero in the heroes component. Earlier, we added the ability to select a hero from the dashboard. We'll do something similar in the heroes component. The heroes component template exhibits a master detail style with the list of heroes at the top and the details of the selected hero below. So heroes component, where are you? Control B, right? So we have a template up here where we have a list of heroes. Our goal is to move the detail to its own view. So this detail, I think, has to be moved to its own view and navigate to it when the user decides to edit a selected hero. Delete the H1 at the top. Oh, I already did that earlier, I think. Yeah, I already did that earlier. Okay. Our goal is to, okay, we forgot about it during the app component to heroes component conversion. Aha, I didn't forget about it. Delete the last line of the template with the My Hero Detail tags. So we're deleting this. We'll no longer show the full hero detail component here. We're going to display the hero detail on its own page and route to it as we did in the dashboard. We'll throw in a small twist for variety. We are keeping the master detail style, but shrinking the detail to a mini read-only version. When the user selects a hero from the list, we don't go to the detail page. We show a mini detail on this page instead and make the user click a button to navigate to the full detail page. So we're going to add the mini detail. Add the following HTML fragment at the bottom of the template where the My Hero detail used to be. So here we're going to have the mini detail. Okay. And then we're going to show the selected hero, his name. I think this is our first pipe where it transforms this into an uppercase, a built-in pipe. View details. And we close the div. And then we indent. Good. So if this is selected, if this is true, then we're going to show the name uppercase and a button to go to the full detail. And this function does not exist yet, so we will write that next. After clicking a hero, the user should see something like this below the hero list. All right, let's reload. View details. So we click it, no function exists yet. Go to details, not yet a function. All right, we're on track. And it's telling us about the uppercase pipe, so that's new. Notice that the hero's name is displayed in capital letters. I think I have to reload because of the error. Hold on. Oh, here. Yeah, this is it here. Okay. So that's because of this pipe here. Pipes are a good way to format strings, currency amounts, dates, and other display data. Angular ships with several pipes and we can write our own. And we can learn about it here. Move content out of the component file. We are not done. We still have to update the component class to support navigation to the hero detail component when the user clicks to view details. This component file is really big. Most of it is either template or CSS styles. It's difficult to find the component logic amidst the noise of HTML and CSS. Let's migrate the template and the styles to their own files before we make any more changes. Cut and paste the template contents into a new heroes component HTML file. All right, new file, heroes.component.html. And we are taking the heroes, this stuff here, into its own HTML. Hero, what was the name of that? Heroes.component.html. Now I wonder if I need the module ID again. Yeah, we do. See, I learned my lesson. Module ID, module.id. And then in here, paste it in. And we do the same thing with the styles. We need a hero component heroes.component CSS, and in here take all these styles, done. And this should refer, I think it's the same syntax. Let's see. Yeah, it is. Styles URL heroes.component CSS. Done. Oh, this is different. This is an array. That's different. Okay, cool. Something's still not right. What am I missing? This style. Oh, it's not plural. Even though it's an array, it's not plural. Oh, it is plural. Style URLs. Okay. This is an array of style file names with paths. We should list multiple style files from different locations if we needed them. Okay, now we update the heroes component class. The heroes component navigates to the hero detail component in response to a button click. The button's click event is bound to the goToDetail method. Okay, we found that out earlier. This approach requires some changes to the component class. Import the router from the Angular router library, inject the router into the constructor, implement goToDetail by calling the router navigate method. Okay, so in the heroes component TS, we're going to create the goTo function. goToDetail this dot router dot navigate is a function with the two parameters, the detail and the ID, I think. Yep. This dot selected hero dot ID. Done. Now we don't know what this is yet because we didn't import the router. So that's up here. From at Angular router. Done. No, maybe it's capital because it's a class. And then this router does not exist on type heroes component. Inject the router into the constructor, so we don't have a constructor yet. Oh, we do down here. So we inject it probably here. Let's try it. So what is that, like private router is of type router? Let's see if that's making sense. Yeah, stop complaining, so must be right. And yeah, there it is. And there's a function. Yep, we're on track. Refresh the browser. Let's see if it works. Save all. Oh, it's autosave is on, right? So I just have to Oh, is autosave like every time when does that kick in? Like once every 5 minutes, or once if I save in this file? Oh, this looks like old code. If I save this file, does every other file save as well? Okay. So that worked. I clicked on the detail and it took me to the detail page. What's this? This is the button. Somewhere we have a button in the template. To go back. Oh, I forgot to put a go back button. Go back text. And there it is. Nice. Perfect. Refresh the browser and start clicking. We can navigate around the app from dashboard to hero details and back for heroes list to the mini detail to the hero details and back to the heroes again, blah, blah, blah. Okay. The app is functional but pretty ugly. Our creative design team provided some CSS files to make it look better. The designers think we should display the dashboard heroes in a row of rectangles. They've given us 60 lines of CSS for this purpose, including some simple media queries for responsive design. If we paste these 60 lines into the component styles metadata, they'll completely obscure the component logic. Let's not do that. It's easier to edit CSS in a separate CSS file anyway. Add a dashboard component CSS file. I'll just copy this to the app folder and reference that file in the component metadata style URLs array property like this. Okay, so let's create the file. New file there. And let's reference that in the component metadata style URLs array property. So dashboard component TS here. I think they're saying we're just adding another style URLs array and referencing if it's an array. Let's see, how is that there? What was that file? There it is. Okay. And we also got CSS for the hero detail component. Add a CSS. Okay. Another CSS file here. And refer to that file inside the style URLs array as we did for dashboard component. So this is for the hero detail component, style URLs array. Done. Let's also remove the hero property at input decorator and its import while we're at it. So that's this guy. That's right, because before this hero detail was getting its data from here, but now it's coming from a service. So this was useless code. And this should, oh, this is the CSS for the hero detail. Hero detail component, yep. Oh, there's a copy button. Let's click that. And then the dashboard. Style the navigation links. The designers gave us CSS to make the navigation links in our app component. Okay, so now we're doing the app component. So let's go there. Another one here. And this is app component CSS. URLs. Okay. And this should be comma. And there's that style. The Angular router provides a router link active directive we can use to add a class to the HTML navigate element whose route matches the active route. All we have to do is define the style. Sweet. App component TS. We have a directive. A directive goes into the template. We can use to add a class to the HTML navigation element. So that's one of these guys. Okay, all I have to do is define the style. So if we look, I'm not seeing it. What am I looking for? Some sort of a directive? Oh, this stuff. Okay, so a directive is kind of like an extra attribute, I guess. What does this do? Router link active equals active. So it's going to add a class to the HTML navigation element whose route matches the active route. So if this becomes active, I guess this thing kicks in and adds a CSS class or something, but only if it's active. I think that's what's happening. So when this template is rendered, this active class only applies when this is true, and this probably has a bunch of code somewhere, this directive code, to determine if that's active. Oh, this is part of the actual router. Okay, so this is like built into the router. Okay, okay. For some reason I thought that we were given that by the design team or something. They wrote some HTML or something, but no. This is part of the router. This is a common function. Okay. First, add module ID to the component metadata of the app component. So that means we're probably okay. So module ID enables relative URLs to enable module relative file URLs. That's why it was breaking before and why I had to put an app when I didn't have that. So this enables relative URLs to the component. Ah, okay. And that doesn't just apply to templates, it seems to apply to style URLs as well. Ah, okay. And that's why I never needed that in my own projects, because all my templates happen to be in a different folder altogether that I defined explicitly. And these ones are relative. They're all in the same file, in the same folder. Okay, cool. Where are we now? When we add styles to a component, we're keeping everything a component needs, HTML, CSS, and the code, together in one convenient place. It's pretty easy to package it all up and reuse the component elsewhere. We can also create styles at the application level outside of any component. Our designers provided some basic styles to apply to elements across the entire app. These correspond to the full set of master styles that we referred to earlier. So this goes into style CSS, which we already have up here. And they want all this in here. And it looks like this is duplicate, so I'm just going to overwrite it there. If necessary, edit index.inf HTML to refer to the style sheet, but I'm pretty sure it's already in there, right there. Look at the app now. Okay, save all. Oh, autosave is on. I don't need to reload. Dashboard, kind of. Oh, it's because it's responsive. Okay, let's turn off this little thing. Cool. We got the first 4 elements, and if I click on it, we're navigated to the detail page. I can modify it. I can go back, and it's been modified. Yeah. And then I can go to the list of heroes, and I can click and see a mini detail. And when I click on this, I go right back to the full details. We are almost done. Or maybe we are completely done. Let's see. Application structure and code. This is what we did today. And we have a recap of all the things we learned. Routing, create router links, parameters, hero service that we share among multiple components. Then we moved HTML, CSS out. We used a pipe. And we refactored routes into a routing module. This part was a little jumbled in my mind still, but okay. What is the next step?